Welcome to session 1 of module 3, feedback amplifiers. So in this module we are going to study the various configurations of the feedback amplifier. The feedback is a process of supplying a part of the output back to the input. Okay, so therefore in case of transistor amplifiers, a fraction of the output voltage may be fed back to the input terminals. Okay, so this can be done in different configurations. So therefore, before going into the details of all the feedback structures, so let us first take in this session the general feedback structure. So therefore, as introduced, the feedback, it can be either a negative feedback or a positive feedback. So in case of amplifier designs, okay, the why the negative feedback is required. Okay, so the negative feedback is required because of the various properties it possesses. Okay. The very first one is it is going to desensitize the gain. So this is the most important characteristics of any feedback. So what is this desensitization of the gain? Okay, so it is nothing but making the value of the gain less sensitive to variations in the circuit components. Okay, so desensitizing means make it less sensitive to the variations. Okay, so that property is exhibited by the feedback network. So because of that reason, negative feedbacks are preferred in the amplifier circuit. The second reason is the reduction in the nonlinear distortion. Okay, so therefore the negative feedbacks, so they are going to make the output proportional to the input, that is uh, they make the output linear to input. Then reducing the effect of noise is another important property of the feedback networks. Okay, so easy to understand this. So reducing the effect of noise is nothing but to minimize the contribution of the noise signal or any unwanted signals at the output. Okay, so therefore making the entire system of the amplification uh, less affected by the noise. Okay, so therefore in effect they are going to reduce the noise interferences. The other important properties control the input and output resistances. Okay, so this is another feature exhibited by the feedback networks by employing appropriate feedback topology. Okay, and also the negative feedback also provides extension of the bandwidth. Okay, so how it is going to extend the bandwidths, so that we will see in the further section. So these are the important properties possessed by the feedback networks, so that are going to help in stabilizing and improving the amplifiers. So now all these desirable properties whatever previously listed, okay, so they are all obtained at the cost of reduced gain. Okay, and the factor that is responsible for reducing this gain is called as the amount of feedback. Okay, so it is nothing but the amount of feedback is a factor by which circuit is desensitized, and amount of feedback is a factor by which the input resistance of the voltage amplifier is increased, and also amount of feedback is nothing but by which bandwidth is extended. Okay, so therefore the amount of feedback, that portion is very much important because it has three main things to do. Okay, so the fraction of the output or some amount of the output is fed back to the input. Okay, so that amount of feedback, it influences the operation in various ways. Okay, so therefore here the basic idea of this negative feedback is to trade off for the other desirable properties. Okay, so by connecting the negative we get some advantages. At the same time, those advantages are available at the cost of a little bit reduced gain. Okay, so in the further sections we will see how these factors and what is the meaning of this amount of feedback factors and all. Now let us take the general feedback structure. Okay, so in the previous slides we have stated different advantages, features or the properties of the feedback amplifiers. So therefore now let us look into what is the exact structure of the feedback whenever it is employed in the amplifiers. Now this block diagram representation shows the complete structure. So here throughout this module we are using some notations. Okay, so like you can see in the block diagram, Xs is our source signal and X0 is the output signal, and the feedback signal is indicated by Xf. Okay, so it is also known as sample of the output because we are taking sample of the output and feeding it back. So therefore it is known by two names, sample of the output or feedback signal. Then there is one more term, Xi. So this Xi is nothing but input to the basic amplifier A. Okay, so here what is the meaning of this basic amplifier? Assume that there is no feedback. Okay, that is there is no beta factor. Okay, so then what we have is a source is there, amplifier is there, next load part is there. Okay, so therefore this particular block, okay, this is known as the basic amplifier. Okay, so in the block diagram, the block A here, this is called as the basic amplifier. Okay, so this is the why it is a basic amplifier, because it is without any feedback now. Okay. Now when a part of output is connected back, so then we are establishing a feedback through the feedback network. So therefore that is indicated by the term beta here. So beta represents the feedback factor. Okay, so therefore now here in this case of feedback amplifiers, we'll be having two discussions, like gain of the basic amplifier A and gain of the overall amplifier, which includes basic amplifier as well as the feedback structure. Okay, so therefore this particular block diagram, from this block diagram, so we will understand what is the basic structure. So here we can see that this Xf is connected to a adder or a here as a junction, and as it is a negative feedback, its sign is minus. So therefore obviously we can write what is this Xi, so that we will see in the next section. So now here we are trying to derive some of the relationships between the various parameters used in the block diagram. So as we know, X0 is the output and Xi is the input to the basic amplifier. So therefore we can now write the amplifier gain. So with the simple relation as given by equation 1, X0 is equal to A into Xi. Okay, so here A is referred to as open loop amplifier gain. Okay, open loop amplifier gain, it is indicated by capital A. That is equation 1. So next, the output X0 is connected to load as well as it is fed back to the feedback network also. Okay, so which produces what? A part or a portion or sample of the output. So now this sample is indicated by Xf. So therefore obviously Xf is nothing but a part of the X0. So how much amount, what part, how much portion of V0 is extracted, that will be indicated by the feedback factor beta here. So therefore Xf will be equal to beta times of X0 is fed back. Okay, so beta acts as a scaling factor here. So Xf is equal to beta times of X0 becomes the feedback signal. Okay, so then further what happens to this feedback signal? Let us refer to the block diagram again. The feedback signal Xf is entering a junction where the summing junction is also receiving the source signal Xs also. So because of the negative feedback, the resulting signal will be the difference between Xs and Xf, which is indicated as Xi. So therefore now we will write another relationship, the difference signal relation, that is Xi will be equal to Xs minus Xf. So where this Xi is going to, Xi is the input to the basic amplifier whose gain is A. Okay. So therefore now these are the three basic relationships by referring to the general structure of the feedback amplifier. Now, whatever the subtraction we have used, that is xi is equal to xs minus xf, so this indicates the negative feedback effect. Okay, so therefore the negative feedback, what it does is it reduces the signal that appears at the input of the basic amplifier. So what is the meaning of this? See, if there were no xf, then the complete xs used to enter a. In that case, xi would be equal to xs. But now as xf is entering into the junction with the negative sign, then whatever xs you are providing, okay, so that will be, some part of that will be subtracted, and only the remaining portion is going to enter into the feedback amplifier. So therefore the negative feedback is going to reduce the signal that is going to appear at the input of the basic amplifier. Okay, next, coming to the further discussion about the gain. Okay, so now the gain of the feedback amplifier is an important relation. So now we are trying to write the gain of the feedback amplifier. Okay, so and that can be derived by combining the previous equations 1, 2 and 3. Okay, because we have x naught equal to a into xi, so therefore in equation 2 you can substitute how much is the x naught. Okay, and when you substitute here, you are going to get xi term. Further, we know what is xi, that is xs minus xf. So therefore by combining equation 1, 2, 3, it is further possible to write a relation or a ratio x naught by xs. Okay, so therefore x naught by xs ratio is taken as the gain of the feedback amplifier AF, because what is x naught? X naught is the final output. Xs is nothing but what? It is the source signal. So therefore now there should be clear understanding between the gain A and the gain AF here. Okay, so A is for only for the basic amplifier it is. Okay, whereas AF is completely for the feedback amplifier. Okay, so while writing A, that is basic amplifier gain, so we are relating only x naught and xi. So that's what. Okay, so x naught is equal to a into xi. From this equation it is possible to write what is a. A is equal to simply x naught by xi, that's all. So it is a gain of the basic amplifier. But whereas when you take the complete structure of the feedback amplifier, so for that structure x naught is the final output, but xs is the input. Okay, so it will include the feedback factor, beta, everything. So therefore now that gain, that is the overall feedback amplifier gain, is now indicated by AF. So therefore the suffix F is sufficient here to understand that it is a gain of the feedback amplifier and it is a ratio of x naught by xs. So when we simplify equation 1, 2, 3, we will easily get the relationship AF is equal to A divided by 1 plus A beta. So what is beta here? Beta is nothing but the feedback factor. So therefore now it is clearly seen that the feedback amplifier gain AF, okay, it is influenced by both open loop gain A as well as the feedback factor beta. Okay, so in equation 4, okay, the quantity A into beta is called as the loop gain. So AB is indicated as or it is named as the loop gain. Okay. Now one thing we can observe here, so we have taken a negative feedback but the sign of the loop gain is positive. Okay, so therefore we can state that for the feedback to be negative, the loop gain AB must be positive. Okay, so that means the feedback signal XF, okay, so should have the same sign as XS. Now equation 4 reveals so many information about the feedback amplifiers. Okay, it indicates that the feedback gain AF will be smaller than the A. So why it is? Because AF is equal to A divided by 1 plus A into beta. So because of this division, okay, AF will be smaller than the A. And one more, if our loop gain AB is very much greater than 1, okay, so if AB is very much greater than 1, so here we can write approximately A divided by A beta, okay. AF is equal to A divided by A beta, so A cancels, so only 1 by beta is going to remain as AF, okay. So therefore if AF is very much greater than 1, then the feedback gain AF is simply or approximately it is equal to 1 by beta, okay. So these are all the analysis that are available from analyzing the equation 4. Now here one more relation we have, okay. So it is further possible to combine equations 1, 2, 3. So what are those equations? One equation is x naught equal to A into xi. Second equation is relating feedback as well as output x naught. Third equation is xi equal to xs minus xf, that is what is the difference signal expression. Now again combining these three equations, it is possible to derive how much is the xf. It is just a substitution of different terms among equations 1, 2, 3. So therefore xf, that is feedback signal xf, is equal to AB by 1 plus AB times of xs, okay. And similarly here also if AB is very much greater than 1, okay, if AB is very much greater than 1, so then it is possible to write xf as A beta divided by A beta into simply xs. So A beta and A beta in the numerator denominator cancels, so xf will be almost equal to xs, okay. Now this implies that the signal xi which is present at the input of the basic amplifier is reduced to almost 0 only, okay. So therefore if a large amount of negative feedback is employed, so this gives another conclusion that if a large amount of feedback is employed, then what happens? The feedback signal xf becomes so almost equal to the input signal xs only, okay. So now these are the various analysis or the understandings from the basic structure of the feedback amplifiers, okay. So now in the further sections we will see what are the different topologies available. With this discussion, this session will be concluded. Thank you.